Might Paul George pass on the Sixers and the pressure that comes with playing in Philly?
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. LinkedIn Jobs help you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnba. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnba to post your jobs for free. Terms and conditions apply. Hi, my name is Keith Pompey, and this is my right-hand man, John Mitchell. We are the co-hosts of Locked On 76ers. We got a lot to talk to y'all about. Today, we want to talk about Paul George. Right now, there's some news going out that the Orlando Magic are very much interested in George, and George is considering it. But here's the deal. Might Paul George pass on the Sixers and the pressure that comes with playing in Philly? So we'll talk about that because the pressure is real. And then we also got to talk about Chet The Jet Walker, right? Great basketball player, Hall of Famer, 6'7" small forward back in the day. Went to Bradley, had his jersey number retired, the whole nine, played for the Sixers, passed this weekend. So we got to give him a salute. He won a championship with Wilt Chamberlain, Billy Cunningham. That's not arguably, that's regarded as the best 76ers team, Mitch. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. But Mitch, when you talk about the pressure that comes in Philly, and it's real,
It is.
do you think that playoff P will pass on this and go elsewhere?
That's a very good question, Keith. Considering that this is considered their big game hunting off season. I hope that he opts to come here. I hope he sees Philadelphia with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey in play. That this is the place where he has the best chance to win a championship. I mean, a lot of these guys we talk about, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, and Brandon Ingram, a little bit further down, some other guys, they don't have a championship, and if you're going to win, that's the hallmark of your career is to win a championship. Conversely, and I've often had this conversation with some people. It's like, when you make $50 million a year, you can, and you're in a position to make your life as hassle-free as possible. You might want to say, you know what, I want to go somewhere, play out my career, and not have to deal with the pressure that will be on you in Philadelphia. Because let's be clear, in Philly, you're going to be asked to, it's not just if you land somebody like Paul George, the question is going to be about, hey, the second round is not enough. It's never going to be enough, really, until they end this 41-year drought. And that's a reasonable expectation. If you look, Boston about to add another championship up there, we haven't had one in Philadelphia in 41 years. So they're going to be, there's going to be pressure on Paul George. And he's probably saying, well, I go there, and if Joel Embiid gets hurt again, as he typically does late in the season, and he's not available, they'll be looking at me and say, well, this is what we brought you here for. Where I could go to Orlando, and where you got great young players like Paolo, who would still be their number one guy. It's not as intense. The pressure's not there. The pressure is just, hey, you get into the playoffs, and it's Disney World, for all intents and purposes. So, what does that say about Paul George if he wants to go somewhere where he may have less of a chance to win a championship? Do you want that guy? That's kind of what the NBA has become, man. I mean, these guys make so much money, and kudos to them. And and their union for getting those contracts for them. But do you want that guy who is kind of on the fence about, well, Philadelphia, top market in the Northeast, in between Washington and New York, and where there is pressure, where the expectations are clear cut and defined. Where in Orlando, they're not really defined. So, it's going to be interesting when June 30th gets here. See what happens, man, and see how all this stuff unfolds. But playing Philadelphia is not the easiest thing in the world, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah, true, and that's the thing. But here's the thing. So this is why a lot of people are thinking it could be. I mean, that's why the Orlando Magic are being mentioned. And who knows? Maybe everything. You never know right now. Stuff could be mentioned. It could be leaked to get the Clippers to say, "Hey, look, we got to give them money." Like the Clippers may say, "Guess what? I don't know if Paul's built for Philly. I don't know if he wants to go there, knowing the stuff that Joel Embiid, like you said, Joel probably won't be healthy." And then you're going to get blamed for stuff. You're going to be the next Tobias, the next Al Horford, the next this and that. Are you willing to take on that smoke? And like you said, Orlando is a little different animal, right? I mean, but the thing is, so the Orlando Magic, they got major decisions to make. And they are expected to be one of the only teams with significant cap space this summer. They could have from around 25 million up to 60 million, though they would have to renounce the rights of their free agents and to players under non-guaranteed contracts to get the higher end of that number. Now, something tells me if they feel like they can get Paul George, they're going to renounce a lot of numbers because rights and everything. Because here's the deal. They already know they're going to have Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, and Banchero, right? So, and their money will jump significantly within the next 2 years, right? With more cap space, supposedly, right? But this is the summer that you would really have to make something happen. You know what I mean? So the projection could put it around 141 million up to cap space, up from the 136 that it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
So like the deal is we'll see what they'll do. But the one thing you said is true, man. A lot of people don't want to come here. I mean, it's weird when you let's look at free agents. So Tobias came here, they had his bird rights.
Mm-hmm.
So they took his number. So they basically realized he was going to get 180 here. He couldn't get more from anyone else.
Right.
And even still, some of the teams that he wanted to go to, like right when free agency started, they were just getting guys because they thought that he was going to go to Philly. Like 5 years ago, that summer. So when you think back, the last like big time free agent that they had was kind of like Elton Brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The last one. Now, Jimmy, when they got him, that was a trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
JJ Redick, they overpaid JJ Redick for him to come here.
Right.
They had to overpay for him. So when you look at that, and then you look at Al Horford, they overpaid him to come here. They gave him a boatload of money. So it's kind of one of those things where you know that you have to do it. Like, let's think about it. LA, less pressure. You don't have to worry about, how should I say it, being people criticizing you. Why? Because it's all about the Lakers. I mean, right now, the Clippers moving into a new arena. Paul George, nobody know what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But what are we hearing about? A Lakers team that just fired their coach.
Right.
First round exits in 2 of the last 3 years. We're talking about today is if the UConn coach going to take the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Before that, it was JJ Redick.
Right.
That was Bronny James. Like,
they're the second fiddle.
It's they second fiddle.
Second fiddle.
Bro, they didn't even send a reporter here when they covered for James Harden's first game in Philly. You know
Yeah,
what I
that
mean?
tells
It's
you
like
all
the LA Times. Like, whoa,
that tells you all
crazy.
you need to know.
That's all you need to know. But look, y'all, we're gonna take a break and we'll be right back and we'll talk about this sponsor.
Yeah, right now I want to talk about one of our sponsors, and we're happy to have, and that's eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. That's the formula for winning championships, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your parts guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your hard-earned money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers.
So, like, think about that, Mitch. Like real rap. Like, you in the city where you're the man, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah,
The Clippers just re-signed Paul Ty Lue, a great coach.
yeah,
You know, they're trying to get Harden. I mean, you got three future Hall of Famers on your team. You are part of you, Harden, and Kawhi are probably Hall of Famers, all
yeah,
three of y'all.
yeah,
And you don't got to worry about nothing.
yeah.
You know, like
Life is good.
life is good. Like
Life is
there's
good.
no pressure. It's just all y'all got to do is win. Now,
Yeah,
you don't have to be bothered with the media. You got your own podcast. You
yeah,
get your word out. You do all this. You got all the hosts. You and Lala like having the
yeah,
beautiful weather, and you want to come east. And I'm telling you, you're gonna come east. And let's face it, right now, the way things look, the Boston Celtics are going to win the championship this year. The way they look right now, and they're going to be the favorites to win it next year. You
yeah,
think that maybe Milwaukee may get it may get it together, but at the same time, if you don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals,
right.
it's a failure in Philadelphia,
Yeah,
and you're going to be the one that everybody's going to blame. And now, don't get me wrong. Now, there are certain dudes who want that smoke. I think like a guy like LeBron, although he wants to stay in LA, will be that's a challenge.
yeah,
Jimmy Butler, that's a challenge, right? Although they're in better situations. But I don't know, man. It's not a lot of dudes that want that smoke. When you, especially if you're on a team where James Harden, like, nah, bro, you don't want to go there. That dude lied to me. And, I'm supposed to be the guy. Or you talk to Tobias, like, I ain't get the ball, but they booed me. You talk to Al Horford, I didn't get the ball, and they booed me.
yeah,
Ben Simmons, man, they had on the TV a dumpster said, going down the river and said the trash is leaving. That's Ben Simmons leaving town.
yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like,
And it
it
does.
be tough for certain people.
Yeah, and no, I mean from the outside looking in, if you're a great player, you would think a guy again wants to add that trophy to his mantle that he was a part of an NBA champion. But as we've heard guys say, oftentimes, and Charles Barkley is a perfect example. I don't have an NBA championship, but my life is lovely, and so if he comes to if he looks at Philadelphia from afar and says, I don't want that smoke, I kind of think that he'll look at it as a challenge, because some people would say, it's cold in the wintertime, but let's be honest, man, it's these guys are in planes most of the time. Sometimes they're flying back out to the West Coast. So, it's all about can you play in Philadelphia? Everybody can't. The people who play here, who really played well, even guys who don't have championships. And I always refer like Brian Dawkins with the Eagles and AI, but those are legendary players, man. Those, they're legendary players. They embrace the city. If you come to the Sixers because of the way the team is built, because of the health of their prime superstar, and his tendency to be unavailable at the most inopportune times, like you said, the weight of this franchise will fall on him. And Tyrese will start getting some of it, but Tyrese will get a pass because he's young. Everybody's going to look at Tyrese and say, hey, he is a guy who we can build with. They love him. He's always smiling. He's happy-go-lucky. But the bottom line is he's 23 years old and is a star. His story is that, well, he turned into a star as a mid-late first-round pick. So he's got the little Rocky momentum behind him, the stuff that we love here in Philadelphia. Dun, 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 dun. So, I'm hoping Paul George will see Philadelphia as a chance to play with the best center he's ever played alongside. But the caveat is, will he be there, and will come into play alongside him, not materialize when it needs to happen most. And I always say this, man, and it's great to have Joel Embiid get 45, 50 points, say, against a Charlotte in November. Hell, it was great to see him get 70 points against San Antonio when he did midseason. But if he's not there, and if he's not healthy, or if he's not healthy when it matters most, and it only matters in Philadelphia now at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Keith.
Now, the one thing that I will say is, like, here's the thing. Like you said, there are some players like Charles Barkley that say life is good. But Charles Barkley, like, brought it, right? And he tried to win. He didn't.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you. If there's a player that's coming to Philly right now and he going to come out and say, life is good, I'm getting paid, I don't think it's going to work out here. Like, it's just not. Because they don't want you to say, life is good, I'm going to get paid. They want you to say, we need to win. I hate Boston. I want to do whatever I can to get out of the East. That's what they want. And that's the problem. Like, I feel like, the money is so great now that certain people are like, I mean, like, the NBA is different in a way. Like, I know, like, there's a lot of guys now, like, they're focused. And I get it. You're going to feed your family. But in a way, that's kind of like being disingenuous when people say, hey, I had to take this money because I got to feed my family. So you mean to tell me if you make 30 million, but you want to go somewhere to make 36 million, you can't feed your family off the 30 million you got, right? So, like, I get tired of hearing it, right? So you come in, so a lot of times now with the NBA is you got certain cats who, what they do is they want to get paid. So they go on the bum squads and they do whatever they can. Whoever got the most cap space, they're going to go there. And then when it's time for them to retire, let me take this minimum to play for the Clippers or something, not the Clippers, but, play for Golden State Warriors when they were a powerhouse.
Right.
So I can get a chip.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, if you're not ready to win, this ain't the place for you if you're just trying to get paid. No, because what's going to happen is you're going to regret coming here. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. And I think some of these players need to understand that before they come here, because the people here, man, like they love basketball, man. They love basketball. And this ain't one of those cities where you kind of like, because what's going to happen is they're going to see you out, you and your lady, out to eat, thinking everything is cool, thinking people going to want to sign they want autographs, and they're going to be like, bruh, you're trash. You're stealing money. You're this, you're that. You missed that shot. Nah, it ain't like, most places. But it's different.
And I would hope that, it's odd to me because you would hope that guys would embrace that. But the NBA, it's so different because, like, it's always about guys want to live where they want to live. In the NFL, guys will go to Green Bay, which is a horrible place to live, and be happy just, I'm in the league. Now, obviously, that's because of different salary structures, because of guaranteed contracts and things like that. But the NBA has become, and let me be honest, man, it's become the feminized league of the professional sports leagues in America. Of the major sports leagues, that's just what it's become feminized, man. I mean, even the ladies of the WNBA are giving us more physicality at times than the guys in the NBA. And when we get back, we'll talk about the great Chet Walker who passed away, and maybe we'll continue this conversation a little bit in the third segment. But right now, I want to talk to you guys about LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. And LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. It gives you access to professionals you can't find anywhere else. And LinkedIn does all that while making the process easy and intuitive. Hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get qualified candidates within 24 hours. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnba. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnba to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. What?
Yo, man.
Lost you there for a second, Key.
Yeah, it's cool. But hey, so look, the thing about it is with Chet Walker, um, just talk about the legacy that he had and everything like that. I felt like he was a great guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a 6'7" small forward. Smith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame 2012. And a lot of people thought that was probably a little bit late for Chet the Jet Walker. I know he was one of my father's favorites. And let's be quite honest, he was on a team. He was on that 1967 NBA championship team. And rest in peace. You got a chance to rest in peace to Chet Walker. He gave the 76ers 7 seasons. He was a 7-time All-Star. He played for the Chicago Bulls, and over his career, he averaged 18.2 points per game, 7.1 rebounds. And he was a guy, just watching the highlights, man, he was a guy, he was an ambidextrous guy, which was kind of rare back in that day. Could use both hands. And an athletic guy, who put up really, really good numbers. And, he's always going to, he played alongside Wilt Chamberlain. And there weren't many points to get, nor rebounds to grab. And he managed to get close to 20 and 9 while he was here. Played alongside Billy Cunningham. And, it's impactful, man. You talk to people who remember him. And I did this weekend talking to some older relatives. And they were like, "Yeah, Chet the Jet Walker was a hell of a player, man. He was a hell of a player and a very underappreciated player in NBA annals. And it did take him quite a while to get into the NBA Hall of Fame. And you figure he retired in the 70s and didn't get in until 2012. So he paid his dues. And when a guy like that passes away, you kind of wish that he had gotten it a little bit earlier to enjoy it for a longer stretch of his life. But he's a great player in the annals of Philadelphia basketball.
The funny thing is, trivia question though, he's not the only person from Benton Harbor, Michigan, who played for the Sixers. The other guy was Wilson Chandler. Wilson Chandler signed with the Sixers, was traded from, I believe, the Denver Nuggets to Philadelphia, and Wilson Chandler was sent to the Clippers and the Tobias Harris trade. The blockbuster Tobias Harris trade. Now here's the thing about Chet Walker, though. Like, when you look at it, he was the original number 25, a Hall of Famer, before his time. And what I mean by that is in regards to a big, small forward, you know what I mean? A guy that, was athletic, this and that. Championship year, I believe he averaged like 19 points that year they won the chip, right? But, it's one of those things where you would think that this, 76ers maybe is never too late, but it would be a good time to kind of retire to number 25, in my opinion. I just think, this guy has done a lot. He's I don't know, like, it's weird. Like, it's funny because he got traded to the Chicago Bulls, and this year they put him in their Ring of Honor, the first one. So when you look at Chet Walker, you say to yourself, like, he was one of the greats. He's not the guy that everybody talks about, right? But they don't, they don't win that championship if it's not for him, for some of the things that he did. He was a part of it. Now, don't get me wrong, Billy Cunningham, they had a lot of other guys, but he was a vital player, vital piece. And I feel like, it would be a good gesture to retire that jersey number.
Yeah, and he's a part of a team that many people will tell you is the best team in NBA history.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard, they're clearly in the argument. You got Hall of Famers on that roster. And again, for a guy to average close to 20 points to be kind of under the radar on a team, that just tells you what kind of a player he was, And I know the people in Chicago, I had some friends in Chicago, and they love Chet Walker. If you talk to Bulls fans who remember that era, man, they'll tell you, it was Chet the Jet Walker and Norm Van Leer, some of those names from the past that they'll bring up. And he was a guy out there. He was a guy for sure.
Yeah, he was the man. He was a pretty good player. It's funny, like, his college jersey number, like I said, at Bradley was retired, the number 31. He led them to the NCAA the NIT championship, 1960. Bradley University retired number 31 in 1976. So, he's been a guy, born in Mississippi, 1940, February 22nd, 1940. But like I said, he went to Ben Harbor, went to high school in Ben Harbor, Michigan, which isn't like far from Chicago and all that. So, you know what I mean? He's a legend in his own right. And again, condolences to his family and to the Sixers organization, the Bulls, and to the NBA. And it's sad that, we remember people like this when they pass, because we look at their thing. But, he's a guy that, was the man. And it's funny. You see all the emails I received from people who were kids watching them grow up and watching why they grew up playing, and just saying how, he was much better than a lot of people thought he was. So
I tell you what, who was a better name? Can you name another 76er who played at Bradley?
Yeah, Hershey Hawkins.
Hershey Hawkins.
Yeah, Hershey Hawkins.
You on your history?
Huh?
I see you on your history.
Yeah, Hershey Hawkins played there. Yep. So that's crazy, right? So, in Illinois, Bradley in Illinois. So yeah, it was crazy. Because remember, like, people like, the boy coming from Bradley?
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah.
And he could. Hershey was the man. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. Yeah, he was a good player. But look, y'all, we like to thank y'all for listening, following today, and want y'all to make this the start of a blessed day, a blessed week. And we'll be back tomorrow to talk about some other things. So, peace.
Have a great day, y'all.